Hi everyone, welcome to my little presentation about the UX design process of the SpeakEasy language learning app. SpeakEasy is a solution designed for Julia. Julia is our proto-persona. She's 29 years old, Italian, single, and currently works as a senior consultant. She has a graduate education in business studies, and she's quite the typical millennial. So she likes to use her iPhone and social media quite often to connect with friends. She really values social inclusion, relationships, activities, but she also struggles with self-discipline, and she gets bored really easily. But let's take a look at her situation. Julia is currently working as an expat in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and she's a complete Portuguese novice. So her goal is to really be able to confidently express herself in her new social setting. And she's motivated by seeking confidence, but also by seeking social belonging. So we can sum it up in our problem statement. Julia needs a way to consistently and effectively build her Portuguese skills because she wants to be able to express herself confidently in social settings. So the question is really like, what's holding her back? Julia is struggling quite a lot. First of all, she's really saying that she lacks the conversational day-to-day lingo related to real-life scenarios. And then also, she said that she won't embed a new word when she keeps seeing it in the same context over and over again, like in a lot of other traditional learning methods. And then finally, she's also really prone to quit studying if she's not being held accountable or reminded to do so. So based on Julia's motivations and struggles, I created two different primary user flows for her. Let's check out the first one. Here we're seeing the early prototypes of the onboarding process. The process has a variety of steps, going from sign up to entering the home screen of the app. Julia is able to select her language of choice, which she wants to study. She can select her skill level, set a daily reminder for practice. She can follow up to 3 tags that will allow her to explore different topics of interest. And then she will finally arrive at the home screen of the app, ready to go. The second prototype series is about creating a new card. So a new card represents a new word that she would like to embed in her study routine. So first of all, she will be able to choose to create either a new card or a new study set. When creating a new card, she's given the option to edit both the front and the back of the card. She can also add an image, add related tags that will allow her to study this word in a variety of different contexts. And then she will finally be able to add the card to either a new study set or an already existing study set. And then she will finally arrive in the view of the study set, which will include the newly assigned card. And then I ran a usability test to really dig into those first low fidelity prototypes. So I conducted the test with 4 different females that all corresponded really well to our proto-persona Julia. They were tasked with 4 different to-dos. The first one being creating an account, then creating a new card, and then the third one was about testing the search functionality of the app, and then finally they were asked to locate their most recently added study set within the app environment. So the testing really revealed some interesting findings. So first of all, concerning the onboarding process, already when creating an account, users pointed out that features like confirming a password were missing and the terms and conditions of signing up to the app were missing. So some super important points were pointed out right in the beginning. And in this process we're looking at, there were also some confusion about selecting one or more languages, there was an intermediate skill level missing, and also the choose random option when setting the study reminder was not quite clear to all users. Looking at the prototype testing of the feature creating a new card, there were also some rather minor but also really important aspects that I want to point out. So the first finding was that it wasn't really clear that a card or a new card corresponds to a word or a phrase. So that was quite an important test result right in the beginning. Going through the process of creating a new card, there was some copy issues pointed out by the users. So for example, edit front and back was not really clear, or which language would go on which side was also not really clear. And then finally, overall, users wanted to see where they are in the whole create process. This question especially popped up after the last task of adding text to the newly created card. Based on those findings, I could already do some first improvements to those early prototypes. So first off, I started with confirming password in terms of adding the confirm password and the terms of condition features. I also updated the task description copy to make it more clear, more actionable and understandable for the users. I added a third intermediate skill level, and I chose to delete the choose random option when setting the daily practice reminder. Although I must say I think it would still be interesting to test this particular functionality with a set of users, but maybe not making it a priority for the time being. Looking at the improvements I did to the feature of creating a new card, I started out with adding a pop-up explainer, sort of like a contextual onboarding message that would appear the first time the user clicked on the create mode. So it would explain particularly what it means, what a new card or a new set actually means and how they can use it. Then I did minor edits to the instruction copy to make it more clear what is meant by back and front of a card, making it more clear which language goes where, and so on. And then finally, and maybe also most importantly, I added a progress indication so that it would be more clear for the user where, how long the process takes, how many steps they have to complete, and how many steps they already completed. And a third finding, or a third improvement I actually want to point out, is related to the home and profile screens of the app. So in the fourth task of the user testing, I asked the user to locate their study sets. It was really interesting because they all immediately jumped into the home screen. Although I had located some of the study sets, especially the user-generated study sets, I located in their profile section. Well, it turns out users were really confused by that. They really expected to see it in their home screen. So what I changed was I moved all study sets or all user-generated study sets from the profile to the home screen. And then I just updated the profile to really focus on the user statistics, their settings, as well as their selected language to study, and also added a profile picture. So there's still a lot of room for improvement, I think, for the profile section in terms of functionality and settings, but I was focusing on other user flows for the time being. But I found that super interesting and super important to move all the study sets away from the profile to the home screen. And then this whole process really revealed some key learnings and next steps. So I would say the first step I would do now is doing a second round of user testing of those improved low fidelity prototypes we just looked at. And then I would also create more task analysis, user flows, and prototypes for the other app functionalities I haven't focused on yet. That's especially related to the study mode, the quiz mode, and testing those iteratively. And then lastly, I would move on to designing and testing more and more high fidelity prototypes, and also testing some more functionalities, for example, a social sharing and community function that will be highly useful to my proto persona, Julia. It was quite a fun process. So I got some key learnings for you guys I want to share. The first being to test early and to test often. So it's super cool to see that even scrappy pen and paper prototypes really yield important user feedback and allow for fast and really important improvements early on. The second is keeping it simple. So it's really not necessary to add all those functionalities that I maybe find cool, but then in the end, it may well turn out that the user is confused, does not need them, want them, and I need to be prepared to remove them after testing. But that's fine. Third point I want to make is that stating the obvious is so important. So a lot of times users are asking, oh, where am I? How many boxes can I tick? What goes where? What does it mean? So even if it's obvious and clear to me, it doesn't mean it's obvious to the user. So using the right visual and written cues to paint the picture right is super important. And then last but not least, listening is so important. So I found that I can only make my user persona happy by really doing, first of all, my research well, and then second of all, focusing on the functionalities that really make her feel like a hero while using the app. So it was really great fun. Thanks for listening and watching, and let me know if you have any questions or comments about all of this, about all of the process. Thank you so much.